Hello, my name's James Pikeway. Welcome to the James Cast and something a little different. This is a show I like to call The Back Catalog. For about a dozen years, I was a radio talk show host in the evenings on Dubai Eye in Dubai. I got some great content from those dozen or so years. I want to share it with you right here. Every week or so, we're going to dig into that back catalog, find some programs that just will tickle your eardrums and offer you an opportunity to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Going to kick off the series with a program from December 17th, 2013. It was called Wind Down Wednesday. Paul Kelly from Digital Ape Media joins me. We're talking about indie recording artists. We're spinning a few tunes, having a great conversation, informative, educational, and entertaining. You're going to love it. Truly, you are going to love it. Intro music by archesaudio.com. It's tickling your eardrums already. Let's get into it. This is the James Cast and the Back Catalog. Wind Down Wednesday, December 17th. 2013, Paul Kelly, Digital 8 Media. Here we go. Paul Kelly from www.me joining me as he regularly does to bring you independent recording artists from the Middle East.
Back in action.
Paul, great to have you here.
Great to be back.
We've got, as always, we get together, as we do, at about this time, and walk through some fairly eclectic music.
Yeah, and I think tonight's lineup's pretty eclectic as well, I'd say.
I think that we have managed to find some great local talent that we've never heard before.
Yeah.
And we've got some stuff from Kuwait.
We do.
And I've never heard of math metal, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, I think there's some influence. Like it's not actually proper math metal, so people out there who are interested in mathcore might be slightly disappointed, but yeah, it's a very, very good little track.
It's got some influences. So that's where we're going on this show. We've got lots to talk about. But right off the bat, I want to open up with the fact that we are very interested in hearing music from right here in the UAE.
Always.
And if you're a group or if you're an artist and you want to get in touch, Nightline at dubai1038.ae, go to www.me and get in touch with us and show us what you got. In fact, your site is brand new revision.
Brand spanking new.
It's sweet looking.
Yeah, no, we've just decided to go, well, we needed an overhaul. It hadn't been updated for, I think, since 1990. No, not 1990. What am I talking about? 2009. And so we've done a pretty big update to the site in terms of making it a lot more mobile friendly and a lot more media centric and less space for ads and things like that, because we don't typically like to run those types of things. So we prefer sort of content projects and all that sort of thing. So we've completely redone it, and big focus on music, but just as big focus on film and photography as well.
Yeah, they got the Makshuf brand all in there, and the whole idea is to get your content up from local artists and let people hear it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and what we really highlight here is the Makshuf music platform. And for those people who don't know, Makshuf is appropriation of the Arabic word, which means sort of discovery, uncovered. There's no direct translation, but similar to like you know something's there, but you don't quite know what it is. And I think the best analogy is if you're at a restaurant that uses a plate cover or something like that, one of those silver service trays, and they uncover it, you might have ordered the steak, but you don't know how it's going to come. And that's what that word means. And we just thought that was super perfect for really shining a light on all these artists around the region, because a lot of people, I think, by now know that these artists are there. They know people are busily working away from everywhere from Riyadh to Beirut and everywhere in between. But sometimes it's a little hard to find that kind of stuff on global platforms, and also, just our day-to-day life. We don't have too many opportunities to see that stuff. So that's really what the platform's about. And so we've tried to make it as easy as possible for people to discover that kind of what we play here is music, but also those filmmakers and those photographers as well.
Well, as we always do on Wind Down Wednesday, it's all about uncovering these independent recording
that's
artists.
Especially true tonight, I think.
Well, and I want to kick off with Jay from Radio Star and a tune that they have called Autopilot. Now, right off the bat, Jay got in touch with us via the email.
Yeah, which is the nice segue here, because he got in touch over their email, and that's really what we, if you are an artist or you do play any kind of music, even if it's just a hobby, drop us a line. Like you said earlier, James, the address was Nightline at
dubai1038.ae. And what Jay did is he got in touch, said, hey, I heard the show. Here's a couple of my tracks. I play in a band. Here's a couple of my tracks. Here's our bio. Give it a listen. What do you think? Would love to, if we can, get onto your playlist.
Give it a spin, yeah. And when Jay dropped a line, I think he recorded this in about 2006. Yeah. So it's another example of like just uncovering some cool music around that people are making here in the city. And the band is called Radio Star. And tonight we're going to hear a track called Autopilot. A really great, fun track. So I'm really looking forward to hearing it.
Good old rock and roll. I love when I'm reading a little bit about the band, and it's gone through some changes, but it's the result of a unique blend of iconic 70s beats, 90s Pinoy rock sensibilities, and a touch of modern day melancholy, all bundled up in a band known thereafter as Radio Star.
Yeah, exactly. They also said that they've got some influences, the Goo Goo Dolls, Gin Blossoms, New Radicals, to name a few. Yeah. That's really what sort of comes out of here. It's sort of, it's very radio friendly. Sort of, not, I wouldn't say pop rock, but it's sort of almost pop punk, that type of thing. And, the name of the band suggests Radio Star, and I think that could very easily be that. Yeah. So should we give it a spin?
Yeah, let's go. This is Radio Star, and the tune that we're going to hear is Autopilot. That, Paul, was Radio Star, their radio premiere right here in the Middle East.
Radio Star Radio Premiere.
Yeah, fantastic tune.
Autopilot was the tune. Did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
The one thing I kept saying as I'm listening to that and as it's going through and as it came to an end, I'd love to hear it in Tagalog.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess
I'd love to hear the Pinoy version.
Work. Yeah.
I'm sure it would. And, I could just see these guys.
We should probably say that Jay is Filipino, so that's why he would be performing
it in Tagalog. Well, and that was one of the things he said. Look, we do a lot of songs in for the Pinoy community.
Yeah.
And we've got a few in English, and this is one of them, but they're going to have more. They like performing in English as well.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just fun.
It's a good fun track, and I think we often say that a lot of the tracks that we play here could have a very easily slot into various radio station formats, and that's another one. It's just a perfect example.
Tag. I think the Tag Boys are going to want to pick this up.
Yeah, they should.
Exactly. 91.1.
Get the guys. Yeah, well, there we go. Yeah. Maybe we can do that.
I think I'm going to go over and talk to Roy right now.
Okay, awesome.
So when we come back from my visit to Roy, we're going to pick up with another great track. This time, we're going to walk over to a group called Postcards. This is Wind Down Wednesday. Paul Kelly joining me from www.me, and this is all about independent recording artists from the Middle East. This is Wind Down Wednesday, and this is an opportunity for you to really sit down and get into some independent recording artists
from all over the region. I was going to say, but we just heard a pretty radio friendly track, I guess, with Radio Star, and we're sort of keeping in that direction in a way with an interesting band out of Lebanon called Postcards.
Yeah. Really enjoyed this track, and it's simplicity. I loved the simplicity of it.
Yeah, and the track we're going to hear is called Lake House. It's from an EP of the same name called Lake House. You can actually grab their music with on SoundCloud.com Postcards Music. You can actually listen to the whole EP there and buy it on iTunes. But take. I think this band really sort of. They describe themselves as being like Fleet Foxes, which if you're out there, it's a very harmony-driven band.
Yep.
Sort of in a way, I guess, almost Pet Sounds, Beach Boys kind of era, but in the modern age. And then these guys, I think, take their cues from that. And I think that it's very, very much in line with a lot of that music and something I think you'll really enjoy, James.
All right. So, Paul, let's go and give this a listen. This is Lake House by Postcards. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
Wish I had a house on the lake where I could spend my time. Wind blowing in my face, fill my glass of red wine. Darling, won't you lie down with me? Feel your hand in mine.
For you to come home to me, and so I will wait for you, sitting here by my lake. I sit on my rusty wooden chair, picture us upon the roof, our feet swinging over the edge, above this blanket of green and blue. And all that I ask is for you to come home to me, so I will wait for you.
All right, Paul, that was Postcards singing Lake House. And I got to tell you, the vocals, the
Beautiful
harmonies,
track, isn't it?
just spectacular. Fantastic story. And they've got the trumpet in there.
Yeah, which is your favorite. You always need a bit of brass in there, but amazing. Like we were just talking about there off air, it's just some amazing harmonies and really beautiful track. And the EP, which is called Lake House, the same name as the track we just played, really does follow along those same lines. So if you did enjoy that track, you'll love the 5 tracks on that EP. It's fantastic, and Postcards Out of Lebanon.
Well, that leads us nicely into The Incompetents and a tune we want to hear from them called Breaking Point. And I asked you when we came in, I said, I'm listening to this and I'm hearing Sergei Yared singing. And I said to you, do you think he's singing out of tune? And as I was then doing a little bit of research and reading through his bio, well, that's his distinctive out of tune voice.
Yeah.
That,
which, in many ways, I mean, a lot of artists have used that kind of approach before, everyone from Dylan through to many, many people. And in fact, some people that probably are singing in tune but don't sing too well. But yeah, it really is a unique voice. The Incompetents are a pretty well-known band actually out of Beirut. Mm-hmm. They play psychedelic folk pop as their genre, is what they call
psychedelic folk pop.
And I don't think they take themselves too seriously, because in one of their descriptions I saw that from a fan, they'd said, "What a waste of disk space." A recommendation from Jesse, a listener, after downloading more songs. So I don't think they take themselves too seriously, including with one of their primary interests is fishing, which is always a good thing to see.
Yeah.
But loads of influences there, and I think there's far too many to talk through, but very much a cool band who don't take themselves too seriously, but also make some really cool music.
Again, it's that music that you put on and you stop what you're doing because you give it a listen. It just grabs you because of the sound, because of the harmonies, because of the instrumentation. And again, just a fun story.
Yeah, it is. And also the track we're going to listen to tonight, which is called Breaking Point, that's actually from a release that came out last year called Of Narcissism and Minor Differences.
Which is their third album, I believe.
Yes. And this track, we kind of selected out as being something sounds pretty cool and has a bit of a unique ring to it. So looking forward to playing this one out.
Well, let's hear it. This is Breaking Point by The Incompetents.
At 34 I'm passing my life in review. At 44 perhaps the afterlife or catharsis. Do I look like I still have no clue? You took away the mother of all diversions. You gave me my right of way. No more conversions. I was always good at opening line, never been able to close the single one. Words addressed to the night. Does it look like nothing has been done? Many to explain fear. I know I used to volunteer. Danger was part of my trade. Now I'm cold as a blade. It's funny how returning into caricatures of the best that never was. The passwords are not useless, but there's no more secrets.
Paul. That was Breaking Point by The Incompetents. You know what that tune's missing?
What's it missing?
A banjo.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say cowbell.
No, that was last week. I got enough cowbell in for the month.
It needs a banjo.
It needs a banjo.
Or ukulele.
That would be nice.
Or both.
Both would be even better. Can we send them a note on Facebook?
Better still, send them a banjo and ukulele.
There we go.
Yeah, was that Breaking Point? Cool little track, actually. Pretty different. Certainly a bit different to the stuff we normally play.
Yeah.
Interesting take on the whole sort of folk pop type stuff as well.
And this is a sort of the Beirut segment of the evening, isn't it? Because
Yeah, those last two artists have been from Beirut, and we started out with the guys based here in Dubai now. So yeah,
So
touring all around the region.
Doing
our frequent flyer miles.
Now we're going to head over to Kuwait, I think.
We are.
So this is your tour of the Middle East and the tour of music from the Middle East here on Wind Down Wednesday. This is Wind Down Wednesday. Paul Kelly joins me every week at this time as we unpack independent recording artists from around the region, and we're heading to Kuwait to a band called Vintage Voices.
Yeah, Kuwait City for the home stretch here, but yeah, we don't play a lot of music out of Kuwait, so I thought it was about time that we sort of picked up some, and this artist, Vintage Voices, is a sort of an indie acoustic type songwriter band. Well, it's actually one guy who does everything.
I like those guys. I like those guys who just get down to it and say, you know what? So often people say, oh, we can't record. We don't have the time. We don't have the space. This guy is using every tool he has available, including, as you pointed out, SoundCloud app on an Android device to do some recording.
Well, the track we're going to play tonight actually has a little message on his SoundCloud profile that it was created with SoundCloud on Android. So that probably gives you an indication that it's lo-fi, but it still sounds great. And Yusuf El Nasser is the guy behind Vintage Voices. He does the vocals, acoustic, electric, and bass guitars, and has another guy, Nathan Peacock, who does the all the percussion. Says he's been writing songs ever since he picked up the guitar just over 2 years ago. So
we're very new at this.
Yeah.
Which is
very
kind
new.
of cool.
Just been improving constantly through many inspiring artists have always wanted to do as they do. So he's following in the footsteps of his influences there, which is everyone from Bon Iver to some Damien Rice, Fleet Foxes, which come out again tonight. It's the second time. John Mayer, etc. Sufjan Stevens. So a lot of sort of singer-songwriter influences there, and you can definitely hear that in this track we're playing tonight.
And I love the fact that they talk about the acoustic nostalgia that they build into their music.
Oh yeah, and you can certainly pick that up. I mean, you know, if it hadn't said that this was created with SoundCloud Android, I would have thought this was actually created with a tape player, the old way of putting the tape mic in front, which is what artists have done very successfully for a long amount of time.
Well, and the boys over in White Stripes, they still do that. They were doing that.
And there's a lot of bands, like another American band, the Mountain Goats, do that as well. So, the track we're going to play is called "To My Friend." It's a nice little song actually, and I think we really like it. It's a little bit lo-fi, but it's a great song.
Well, let's give it a spin. Vintage Voices, and this is "To My Friend."
Across the distant land, a man waiting stands. His fortune is as gone as the day that he was drawn. When the clouds did part, as he looked to the art of the heavens looking down, he managed to smile. Time made him older. Every day he got colder. His life wasting away, but he knew he had his day. On the cold mountain clear, he stood with no fear as he stared into fate. A tear fell. His own life flashed before his eyes, and it's not that he didn't live, he did, and he did cry. And love was but a little thing to him. He couldn't have done anything more, anything more. Seemed to never end, yet he chanced to journey on, to sorrow and distress he walked, through rain, gale and storm. With every mile that passed his eye, kept walking along. When he looked back, he lost all sight, but a new star is shining bright. His whole life flashed before his eyes, and it's not that he didn't live, he did, and he did cry. And love was but a little thing to him. He couldn't have done anything more.
All right, Paul, that was Vintage Voices to my friend. As we said, lo-fi recording done with the SoundCloud app on an Android device.
Yeah, you like that?
Very Eric
What was the
Clapton-esque.
James?
Very Eric Clapton-esque.
Yeah, it was more the mellow stuff.
Yeah. But I liked it. I really, again, using the voice, the guitar, very nice.
Yeah,
Just-
and it really works really well too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, how it was recorded or what was used or whatever, but it was a nice little mix too. I
Yeah.
kind of like how the vocals are sort of a little bit behind the guitars. It actually gives it a really nice lo-fi quality. And we were talking before about the tape analog recordings,
Yep.
just setting a tape player up in front of you and a single mic and putting that in the room. It does actually have that quality to it, which is actually it's very much I don't want to say in fashion, but on trend, whatever you want to say.
Well, you listen
it's
to
become really popular again, doing that method of recording.
And you listen to so much music today, and it's so overproduced that when you now get something that's a little bit more raw, you just enjoy it because it is what it is.
And it stands out too,
Yeah.
I think, which is really, really good. So, yeah, really enjoyed that track, Vintage Voices from Kuwait.
And go check it out, and you can find them, of course. You can find him on SoundCloud and beyond. And
Yeah, we'll put all these tracks up as well on www.me. So just go to the homepage, you'll see an article there, and just click on that. We'll make that really obvious for you. So
make
you
it
can have a
really
listen.
easy. And I sort of like to call these the weekly playlist. So you've got something to listen to at the office, listen to at home. People come over for dinner and say, "Hey, I've got some great music."
Yeah.
So where'd you get that?
Yeah, exactly.
Went online.
And we've talked about this before. I mean, most of the time, if the music's not free, it's freely available on SoundCloud or www.me, or otherwise, it's a pay what you want scenario. So you donate $1 to these guys if you think it's worth that. If you really love it and you think it's worth, the same as what you'd pay for a CD in the store, which is 40 to 80 dirhams, depending on what artist is, then if you think it's worth that, then pay it to these guys because it goes straight to them most of the time, depending on what service they use. But it doesn't get carved up by record labels and retailers and all that sort of thing. So I think it's if you do really like the music, and definitely try and buy it if you can. Sometimes it's a bit more difficult in this part of the world to buy that music, but if you can, definitely get it, and that shows the support.
This is Wind Down Wednesday, and it's all about independent recording artist Paul Kelly joining me from www.me. This is Wind Down Wednesday, and we're into the last stretch of this week's extravaganza. The home run.
Extravaganza. Can we get any more cliches in? I can't think
I'm trying to sound like a DJ, man. I've been listening to Chris Fade. I've been listening to Catboy. I'm learning from those guys.
Yeah, we need sound effects.
Yeah.
We need a sound effect panel to be more like that.
This is the end. Now I sound like Brent Black. No, that sounds like that's a sucker thing from The Dentist.
Oh, yeah. There's always a car horn in there, isn't there? Yeah, well, Anyway,
we digress.
Yeah, it's not breakfast radio.
No.
It's a certain amount of decorum at this time of night that we should
exactly.
Be,
we're wearing our tuxedos.
Yeah.
We do this. The lights are low. We've got a wonderful glass of ice water with lemon in it in front of us, and canapes.
We have the jazz trio in the corner.
Yes, they're waiting.
The ad breaks.
That's exactly. They entertain us.
Yeah. So there is a certain amount of decorum. We don't get that on Catboy.
No. He wears t-shirts. We wear tuxedos to this program.
Lucky if he wears a t-shirt. Have you seen that studio?
Yeah. Okay. So,
anyway, so we're staying in Kuwait.
We are staying in Kuwait,
track.
and this guy, Khaled Al Mansour, caught my attention as you sent me his information. But as I started going through it, I'm reading math metal, progressive metal, and groove metal artist are three of the tags that he likes to use to describe what he does.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first time you'd come across math metal, mathcore.
I'd never heard of progressive metal nor groove metal either. So all three of them.
Progressive metal is just a heavier form of prog rock, like progressive rock, and then
we haven't had any prog rock in weeks.
No, we haven't. What's going on?
You said we were going to get some more in here. We need to get some more prog.
We will. We should get a prog Tone Town session.
Yeah,
go on for hours. It'd be awesome.
We wouldn't stop.
Yeah, but no, it definitely got some of those influences in this music. But I think it was probably about a month ago, we played another artist called Amadeus Awad.
Yep.
Who's a very well-known, very well-respected guitar artist, not just here in the Middle East. He's based in Lebanon, but they're all around the world. And Khaled Al Mansour is almost in a very similar vein. It's there's no vocals in the music,
which I take my hat off to him, because he's saying, you know what, I've got some great music. I don't have a vocalist, but that doesn't mean that I can't produce this music.
No, and the song we're going to play tonight, which is just a single called Nostalgic, which he released, I think, around August this year, so a few months ago, but has done pretty well, and it's a really interesting kind of track. It sort of starts off very mellow and then builds into something a lot heavier, and it's just an interesting approach to making music, and I guess shows the diversity. I mean, at the top of the hour we had the radio friendly stuff with Radio Star, then we went to the more relaxed postcards, and then we sort of went up a notch and back a notch with the vintage voices just before, and this is really another change in direction again. I think shows the diversity of the talent in the region.
Let's spin it. Introduce the song.
Yeah, it's Nostalgic by Khaled Al Mansour.
Here we go. Khaled Al Mansour. It starts off in the first about 25 seconds. I think I'm listening to U2.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the edge is in there somewhere.
A lot of delay and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
which is very signature of U2. But then it just moves into
Then it goes to metal.
yeah. Well, it's not. It's
It
probably-
slides
yeah.
in just a little bit.
Yeah, and it's heavy, but it's not over the top, and yeah, as we said earlier, very reminiscent of Amadeus Award.
And then it starts to grind.
Yeah,
The
which-
grinding guitar is what and as soon as it started, I said, oh, no, this
Yeah,
turned everything up a little bit louder.
we've got those great monitors in the studio as well. So yeah, no, great track, and if you like that, you can find Khaled under well everywhere, but maybe www tomorrow with the
Yeah.
with the playlist that we'll have, but also
And we podcast as well. So if you've missed anything, Dubai1038.com/Nightline, hit the podcast,
Yep.
and it's all up
and all
there.
through social media,
Yeah.
and this guy, you can grab him just with the handle Awesome K on Facebook and
There we go.
Twitter and Instagram.
There we go. And you know what I love is that the last two tracks we've played this evening are from Kuwait.
Yes, yeah, we it's been a while since we've been back to Kuwait. I know we've
Yeah.
played a few artists there before, but yeah, made a conscious effort tonight to play a couple of tracks from there. So yeah, good music.
And I think everyone gets an opportunity to, again, hear music that they haven't heard before. And how many artists can you name from Kuwait? Well, now you can name two.
Exactly.
So that's two more than you might have been able to name yesterday.
Exactly, or an hour ago.
Or an hour ago. So, go to the quiz shows and you can sit down, and when it comes up, name two
can be
artists from
confident.
Kuwait. You can be very confident.
You can thank James and Paul.
That's it. So you can buy us a bucket of chicken.
Yeah. What a bucket of chicken.
It's easy to eat here.
Yeah.
Because just you hold it with your finger up, kind of like a teacup. It's dignified. Remember, we're wearing tuxedos. And on that note, Wind Down Wednesday wraps up again. Paul Kelly from
Thanks for having
www.me.
me.
It's always great to have you in studio.
I'm going to go perform with the jazz trio now.
I can't wait. We'll be back again. If you've got anything you want to add to the program, you want to get some comments to us, or maybe you've got some music of your own that you'd like to
Yep.
get us to feature, two ways to do it. www.me. Get in touch with Paul or drop it to me, Nightline at Dubai1038.ae.
Yeah, and just to quickly jump in there, it just doesn't matter if it's something that you might be creating in your bedroom or whether you're in a band and you actually have, I won't say real recordings, but studio recordings or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just send them through, even if it's electronic, hip hop, whatever. We'll try and give it a spin. If we can't, we'll give it some coverage in some way.
Nightline at Dubai1038.ae. Talk to you soon, Paul.
You have been listening to the back catalog right here on the James Cast. Paul Kelly from Digital 8 Media joined me. We were talking indie recording artists from across the Middle East, a program from December 17th, 2013. Hope you enjoyed. Let us know. Give us that rating. Send us the comments. Want to get in touch? James at thejamescast.com. Find us across the socials, The James Cast. And of course, thank you very much to archesaudio.com for our theme music. We're going to do it all again real soon. You've been listening to the back catalog right here on the James Cast.